I could say I was in the 4th grade. No, I was probably in the 5th grade, brother. I was playing for the Hunters field. One of my coaches, rest in peace, Coach Cujo, he got killed on the Hunters field. Yeah, while we was before practice, like literally before practice, he standing outside, nigga came up and, got killed right there. And I can remember the shit on the news is really big in the city, and you hear me, nobody really reached out, everybody, felt bad, of course, but, but nobody reached out, but Juvenile, you hear me, Juvenile came, man, Juvenile, shout out to Juvenile, man, Juvenile came. With it, this Big Chris, you hear me, with 2 G's. I'm here with Newtral Groundz. You already know what it is. New Orleans, 7 Wall, downtown shit. Yeah.
So for these interviews, when I really tap into, I really want, your audience to get to know you as a person. The 7 Wall, I did a whole documentary on the 7 Wall, so I of course want to talk about that, Yeah. So let's start off with, what growing up in New Orleans. Let's not even get into the music yet. Just tell me about growing up in New Orleans, growing up in the 7 Wall. Tell me what that was like.
Man, growing up in New Orleans, I ain't gonna lie. Most people, all right, most people I know growing up in New Orleans, it was a real, it was a real blessing for me personally, you hear me? Cause my childhood, I had fun. I ran around a lot, I played ball, you hear me? Even though we gotta adapt, we gotta, we got like immune to the violence and everything. So so growing up in New Orleans, man, it was rough at times, though, but shit, man, it was for most part. I wouldn't want to grow up nowhere else. It's like the positive experiences that I had in the 7 Wall in New Orleans. Coming up, I went to McDonald 42. That was probably, I walked to school every morning, so that was probably 3-4 blocks down, from my house and shit, you hear me? So, most I had, I come up with 6 brothers and 3 sisters, you hear me? Same mama, same daddy, you hear me? We stayed in the shotgun house on Columbus, you hear me? My whole, we still got the house to this day. My grandma still live in that bitch, you hear me? Yeah, brother, yeah, it's real. My grandma 94, shout out to Vi, you hear me? To me personally, a lot of my brothers personally don't, feel like they felt the more negative side of it, but me, I felt, I felt more positive from coming up, in New Orleans than anything. I feel like it just, it made me want, I walked to the Hunters field. I played football for the Hunters. I walked to the Hunters field every fucking day. Like, that shit just like motivated me. Like, just fucking playing cool cans, fucking high and go see nigga playing football up and down the street till the sun come up, the sun come down, you hear me? That's really like, that shit really like shit that riding bikes from the block all the way to City Park to the lakefront, all uptown, you hear me? You hear me? That shit was that was life to a nigga for real, like, you hear me? You hear me? Nigga couldn't see no negative. It was all nigga just living, you hear me?
That's real, and it's crazy because people don't talk about all the fun that we used to have, just having New Orleans as our playground. So let's get into like the music. Like, what made you want to first get into the music? I know New Orleans is a very musical city. So aside from making you want to get into music, talk about some of your influences and people that came before you in the city.
Man, some of my influences in the city that made me want to do music. Man, I can remember being 10 years old, seeing Juvenile, Wayne, Baby, all them, really shining, stunning, you hear me, come from nothing, just where I come from, you hear me, and really found their way, you hear me, even before them, Master P, you hear me, how they, they just took what they believed in, you hear me, and just, our real life experiences that we experience on a daily basis and put it in the art, you hear me, in the form, you hear me, in music, you hear me, that shit was just, I don't know nobody who didn't want to be a rapper, like, you hear me, a ball player, woo, you hear me, so it just, it was like, really, it was like we was born to be it, like, you hear me, I feel like I was born to be a rapper, like, like, everything in music, I literally witness or experience. So, you know, it's just only, you know, right to just, you know, to just fall in line, you know, with the culture, basically, dog. Shit, some of my positive influence was in this shit, man. Motherfucker, I remember being, I could say I was in the 4th grade. No, I was probably in the 5th grade, brother. I was playing for the Hunters field. One of my coaches, rest in peace, Coach Cujo, he got killed on the Hunters field. Yeah, while we was before practice, like literally before practice, he standing outside, nigga came up and, you know, got killed right there. And I can remember the shit on the news is really big in the city, and you hear me, nobody really reached out, you know, everybody, you know, felt bad, of course, but, you know, but nobody reached out, but Juvenile, you hear me, Juvenile came, man, dog, Juvenile, shout out to Juvenile, man, Juvenile came, fucking bring all us on his tour bus. I don't know if it was a tour bus, a little bus he had, stretch limo, man. Bring us to the movies, watch Harry Potter, man. It was just, I could just remember this like yesterday so vividly, you hear me? Because I can remember just looking like, damn, this is Juve. Like all the basketball players, football players, you hear me? Anybody, fucking male, anybody could have came show a little love. It took a rapper, dog, from Uptown, you hear me? Man, we were in the 7th wall, man. It's like, you hear me? That just made me, you hear me, just, man, I gotta be a rapper, man. I gotta, you hear me, make kids feel, you hear me, show this type of love, man, because that's what it's about. Fuck the money, all the, you hear me, who, fame, all that shit, man. It's about making somebody feel, making somebody feel better, dog, at the end of the day. You could reach somebody's life, you could change, even if it's 1 or 2 people, dog. Juvenile just don't know. Still to this day, he probably don't even know how much he inspired me, dog, just from doing that as a little kid. Me still, you know, we knowledgeable, you know what the, man, it's just like, damn, bro, it's still trip me out to this day, dog. That's why every time, you hear me, I see Juvenile on TV or anything, I never ran across him personally, you hear me, but man, when I do, man, you hear me, it's all love, bro. I gotta tell him, I'm telling you, bro, it was a real surreal moment for me, like, real shit, bro. That was my first rapper experience, you hear me, I was 4th, 5th grade. For it to be a negative situation that literally almost we forgot about, you heard me, in a moment just for, you heard, man, that shit was, man, it was a real blessing, big brother, real, yeah.
So let's talk about, you know, your music, you feel me? You've been spitting, just tell me a little bit about some things you got going on and some people that you've been working with.
Let me see. Big brother, I'm sorry, bro.
You got it.
I mean, that towards them blackwood. What you were saying, my bad, bro.
So your music, what's some things that you got popping, some people you've been working with, some things that you got on your journey in your music career?
Man, I've been rapping for like 2 years, brother. I can't lie, since probably 2019, you hear me? Taking it serious, I could say, you hear me? Like, you hear me? You know, I always been rapping my whole fucking life, bitch. You know, nigga, fucking around, recording woo-the-woo, but taking it really serious, I'm talking about, you know, stepping out of the, out the street and, just really focusing in, locking in. I'm talking about bringing the team together and you know, really getting this shit right. I've been doing this shit for like 2 years, and you know, I've been linked, and I'm the type of nigga I really respect and really, you hear me, I really respect and want to work with every artist who, you know, more in my, you know, I go off of energy. I'm a spiritual person, so you know, if I go off vibes. If I really feel like, you know, I don't give a fuck about what other people think about other people, you hear me? I really go off, you know, man, I'm willing to work with every single artist, man, in the world. If you know, if that vibe, that energy right, brother, on some real shit, I respect everybody, you hear me? So niggas like who I really, you know, really take my time out to, embrace and shit. I really be going there, you know, I really speak, you know, I call myself reality rapper, you hear me? So, you know, niggas who I can relate to, you hear me, you know, they can relate to me, basically, dog. That's who I try to go after. So I'm trying to do, I got a feature with Nut coming up, bro. Nut the Kid, shout out to Nut, you hear me? I got a feature with him coming up soon as I get, you know, everything in order. You know, I'm a patient nigga, so I don't like to rush shit, you hear me? I like to, you know, get the business clear, then I take my time, and, you know, so be looking for that probably in the next, you know, next few weeks, for sure, man, for sure. Fucking Pretty Yellow, shout out to Pretty Yellow, man. We got a hard ass track called Tell the Truth. We got a video. We dropping a video the same time as the song type shit, you hear me? So, you know, That's emotion right there. Fuck. I don't want to leave nobody out, but you heard me? Shit. Who we got? Who we got? Shit, I don't know if I left y'all. Fuck, man. You know it's all out though. You heard me? Fuck. You heard me? But yeah.
So going forward, where you see yourself in about, let's say 2 years, 5 years, where you see yourself as far as your career, your progression?
Man, I see myself, I could see myself Big Chris, man, with 2 G's, you heard me? 10 years, dog, you heard me? It's really on some reality shit, on some really not, I'm a humble nigga, you heard me? I'm a real humble nigga, you heard me? I'm a real, I think before I speak type nigga, you heard me? Not, but I'm also very confident, you hear me? I really believe in myself, like in everything I ever did. I've been I don't know if it's overconfidence people call it, but I really see myself, man, at the top of whatever I'm in this music shit, man. I'm talking about with the Kendrick Lamar's, the J. Cole's, you heard me? Man, I'm talking about the big dogs in this shit, the Lil Wayne's, man. I'm trying to, you heard me? I know it's gonna take it to work, man. It's gonna take that dedication to this shit, man, but yeah, this one I'm trying to reach, brother. I'm trying to reach greatness, man. That's all I could. I might as well quit the deal if I ain't, you heard me? Because that's just how I'm built, you heard me? I can't, you heard me? I believe that shit, how everybody should be built, you heard me? If it ain't, you ain't gonna put that 1,000 in that bitch, 1 million in that bitch, man. Might as well go find something else, you heard me? It's a million other things to go do, you heard me? I said, brother, but look, for a fact, 5, 10 years, man, Big Chris on top of the music game, man. I got my own label, Major Music Records, man, you heard me? Man, I'm talking about, man, all positive vibes, all positive energy, man. We talking about, man, what, you heard me, what they don't want to talk about, man, you heard me? What they talk about, we ain't talking about, man, you heard me? We just on some old other shit, man, you heard me? My slogan I came up with a long time ago, brother, when I finally got my mind right, I'm a herb, man, I smoke herb, you heard me? I meditate, I don't drink, you heard me? You heard me? I done experienced it all in life, you heard me? All, you heard me? It ain't need to be said, you heard me? Type shit, you heard me? Who know, don't, you heard me? But only God knows really, you heard me? So, and I just want to really encourage everybody just to be, be mindful, dog, and be courageous out here, man. You heard me? Walk on, I really walk on like on my morals, my codes, I had to rebuild myself, man, because you heard me, the world a tricky place, dog. So, man, 5, 10 years from now, the whole world gonna really feel, they gonna know Big Chris, they gonna feel Big Chris pain, his energy, man, you heard me? It's just his knowledge, dog, of life, period, man, from the streets to whatever, you heard me? It's just up there, brother. I'm just trying to shine my light on the world, dog. Show him what Big Chris, you heard me? Show him another way.